Hey YouTube, just wanted to check in. I'm on a nice morning ride here in Boulder in the foothills on the left-hand trail. Already done about probably 7 miles. It's one of our hotter weekends here in the 90s, so I gotta ride early. But hey, it's a dry heat. But anyway, just wanted to update you on the Deore XT brake conversion. From my last video, the unboxing, I let you know that I was about to install the XT brakes on the old Rockhopper hardtail here. Just as a reminder, I had the TRP mechanical brakes on the Rockhopper that I installed just after the pandemic started. So had them on for a couple of years. And they were great brakes, but now that I'm out in Colorado, I wanted to kind of go to the next level and get something a little bit stronger for the downhills here and for the rougher terrain. And I just wanted to complete the XT conversion here on this bike. It's been really fun. But yeah, so just to kind of show you the finished product here, the calipers. Now I already had the Ice Tech rotors, as I mentioned in the last video, but the rotors were not an exact fit for those TRP calipers. Show you the levers here. Now these are the 8100 series. The rest of the bike is on the 8000 series, so that the transmission is 11-speed. Because I've got the Hyperglide hubs, so I didn't go with 8100 on the transmission. So this is just an 11-speed, as I mentioned in previous videos. But we've got full 1x, and now we've got the XT brakes as well. So yeah, so far so good. So I've probably had about 3 or 4 rides with it, just kind of bedding in the brakes still, but the rear especially is really starting to grab very nicely. The front is still kind of breaking in because I don't use it very much. But yeah, definitely grab harder than the mechanicals, no doubt. It seems like the lever feel is much better as well, much easier for the 1 or 2 finger braking. And yeah, very pleased so far. I'm very happy that I decided to go with XT here on this bike. I think it just makes a lot of sense. And one thing I will tell you, compared to my Specialized Status, which has got the Kodar downhill brakes, these brakes are so much quieter. And I know that's kind of a SRAM thing. The brakes are pretty loud, but yeah, you really don't hear these brakes much unless you're doing kind of very hard braking. But yeah, so far so good. So very happy with the XT conversion here. I've got a few kind of loose ends with this bike that I'd like to figure out. The seat is just okay. I'm not loving it. It's kind of it's a lower end seat, but it's actually got a lot of cushioning. I was hoping it would take some of the brunt of the hardtail hits, which is, why I originally picked that seat, that Planet Bike seat. It was rated pretty good, but I think I am gonna try maybe an Ergon, something a little bit higher end, see if the seat feels better. Also with the tires, so I had converted this to Stan's rims probably about a year ago or so, year and a half. And I really like the rims, but these are tubeless rims, and I'm not running tubeless yet. And for whatever reason, these Maxxis tires do not seat well on the Stan's tubeless rims. And a bike shop had told me that that's kind of to be expected, but I also think the Maxxis tires are just hard to seat well, no matter what. I think they were like that on my old rims as well. But for whatever reason, on these Stan's rims, they're really bad. So I'm thinking I'm gonna probably go tubeless here sooner rather than later. I just had the status switch to tubeless and I'm loving it so far. The fact that you can run lower pressure is kind of a selling point for me right now on the hardtail, especially in the rougher Colorado trails. Anything to take some of the impact away from the trails is probably worthwhile. So I could see probably converting this to tubeless before the end of the summer here. So I'm hoping that it will soften out the ride, and maybe that with a better seat will give it a better ride. You know, this bike being older geometry, it, you know, it does take a little bit of getting used to when you're switching back and forth from the newer geometry bikes, especially the really slack status that I have. So I'm trying to dial in, like, you know, what is the best combination of seat height and also handlebar height, and also just like the gear like that I'm wearing, like my water pack and stuff, how it sits on my back. I'm trying to dial it in so it's just as comfortable as possible, because I do like the bike still a lot. But yeah, with as much riding as I do, I notice the pains more than I used to, for sure. And these trails are so rocky that they just they do not go easy on you. But yeah, so that's just kind of some of the things I'm thinking about. This bike, I think, is pretty much done though. There's probably a few other things I could upgrade, but you know, the bike is so light already, and I don't know, it's performing really well. The XT transmission's great. I'm loving these brakes so far. So yeah, this is pretty much almost a complete project. I can't believe it. 2008 bike, still riding it, and riding it especially in Colorado. Like, what an experience. This bike's had quite a journey. 4 apartments in Chicago, and now it made its way to Colorado, and it's got the upgrade treatment. So pretty fun stuff. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Let me know if you have any questions. If you got any old bikes that you're upgrading, please drop me a line. I'd be curious about your story. All right, guys, see you later.